Alrighty guys, we're back for Naya Enchantments, and this is a Bloomburrow standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, this was a suggestion down in the comments. So thank you so much for the suggestion, it's gonna be a fun one. Check this out guys, Calix, Guided by Fate, is still in standard. Nice. This is a 3-mana 2/2 legendary enchantment creature, but we got all 4 of them in here anyways because I do think it's going to be that good in here. Has Constellation, so whenever Calix or another enchantment you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Beautiful. Now also, whenever Calix or enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may create a token that's a copy of a non-legendary enchantment you control. Do this only once each turn, of course. Calix is a very powerful card when in the right build, and hopefully this is the right build. We have a whole bunch of Valiant mice packed in here, like Emberheart Challenger, for example, as a 4-of. We're not going to take too long to go over these Valiant mice because we get to see them all the time. Like all 4 Heartfire Hero, right? So this is a very powerful 1-drop. It should really do the thing in here. These Valiant abilities could really come in handy with all these enchantments. We have all 4 Flowerfoot Swordmaster too, a potentially powerful 1-drop, but it does have Offspring for 2 as well, so we could also treat this as a 3-drop in here, which definitely changes the curve a bit. I don't think it's going to be unheard of to want to play this out for 3 to get that extra mouse token on the board. What kind of enchantments do we have packed in then? Well, all of our removal are enchantments, so we have a couple Banishing Lights here to be able to pick up non-land permanents. That's important. Now I do have an honorable mention over here, Seal from Existence. Pretty much reads the exact same as Banishing Light, right? Exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until this leaves the battlefield, but it also has Ward 3. The reason I didn't play Seal from Existence is actually the double white in the casting cost, since this is a 3-color build. On turn 3, I want to actually be able to play Banishing Light without being punished by the mana base, but hey, honorable mention for a very good reason. Definitely wanted to bring this one up real quick. Other removal packed in, we have all 4 Ossification, which needs to target a basic land you control. We don't have too many basic lands in here. We have 6 plains, 1 mountain, and a forest, so only 11 basics. But we do have Fabled Passage as one of our mana fixers, as well as a way to thin out our deck list as well. I think having the 4 Fabled Passage in here makes it much easier to not miss that basic for the Ossification, if we would have even missed it to begin with at 11, right? So yeah, I bring this up sometimes. I have Ossification paranoia, man. I'm always afraid I'm going to miss that basic land, but no, Fabled Passage should help us get there for sure. All right, anyways, what else do we got packed in, guys? We have all 4 Audacities, very powerful aura. We have Royal Treatment in here as protection for our creatures, right? Hexproof does go a long way, but then also it drops a Royal Roll token attached to that creature too, which is not half bad, right? Now, the rolls, of course, are auras. And we do have other ways to give rolls to things in here, like Spellbook Vendor. 2-mana 2/2 with Vigilance. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you can pay 1 mana. When you do, create a sorcerer roll token attached to target creature you control. Not half bad, dude. It really isn't. And that Vigilance does go a little bit further than you would expect. All right, what else do we got packed in? The top end, Archon of the Wild Rose. 4 mana 4/4 with Flying. Other creatures you control that are enchanted by auras you control have base power toughness 4/4 and have Flying. That is no joke, dude. This is going to have a huge target on its back. All right, talked about the mana base a little bit. We are very much splashing red in this build, so that's what the mana base is doing too, with Copperline Gorge and Inspiring Vantage both helping us splash that red, being fast lands as well. Also, Rockface Village making the cut for our mice. Sometimes you might not have any other way to activate the Valiant abilities, and the land will help you get there. No other honorable mentions today, guys. I feel like there were quite a few things I could have put here in the honorable mentions, but yeah, I just chose not to this time. Let me know what should have at the very least been in the honorable mentions. All right, guys, I do my dandiest to go ahead and save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take this into some ranked and see how we do. Right into that first game, guys. Let's go. What am I expecting from the build? I don't know. I really don't. We have a lot of powerful cards packed in, right? A lot of these Valiant mice happen to be very good. Okay. I think we try this, right? I think we try this. This is a pretty good lineup. We'll start with the Vantage. Another Fabled Passage. I'm not mad about it. Vantage, Heartfire Hero. Opponent's turn 1 was a Captivating Cave. Ooh. Ooh, it'd be cool to go up against a cave build. We don't get to see those very often. Oh, Cavernous Maw. I like it. Okay. Let's get that Rockface Village down with the Spellbook Vendor. We won't have the one. Maybe we start with the swing then. We definitely need to grab green sources off the Fables when it comes time. Okay, Spellbook Vendor is on the board. Oh, Forgotten Monument. Other caves are now Painland. All right. So unfortunately, we'll probably go... Well, I don't know if we want to go vendor number 2. Caves do have board wipes. Fable's going to grab us a green, but it's going to come out tapped for now. Yeah, and then if you control 4 or more lands, untap that land. So maybe it's just like Rockface Village, right? On the Heartfire Hero? No, probably Spellbook Vendor then. That's probably a little better than playing the second vendor too. I think so. It's just too bad we don't have a green open for the royal treatment. That would have been really good. But we'll grab green on the Fabled Passage and then consider green on the second Fabled Passage. It don't matter about the scry because we're gonna be shuffling. Oh. Yeah, we're gonna be shuffling. I should have activated Fabled Passage first and then actually successfully scried there. Yeah, I definitely should have done that. That was an instance where patience on the passage actually was bad. Okay, so there's the cave-in. So there we go. It was very good not to play that second vendor, right? Hero gets another 3/3, which is actually pretty darn good, especially when all of their caves are Painland, right? Let's grab that green source. Yeah, it's too bad we couldn't have actually got that successful scry. So if we get Calix down here, we grab a second white source, we can play both vendors. Is that worth it? Probably, but a second cave-in would be really bad. But just getting the one Calix down also doesn't seem that great. But if we do one Calix, we'll have royal treatment. I think it's 2 Spellbook Vendors after the board wipe, and we just have to hope that it's not board wipe number 2, right? Much as I'd love a second green source on this board as well. I think this is totally fine. Vendor. I guess we also could have... Well, man, we had options, didn't we? We also could have went one vendor, sorcerer roll, kept the royal treatment open. But remember that the rolls do replace each other. But that could have also been pretty good. Alright, a leech comes down. More mana is not going to be a bad thing here. By any means. Alright. Calix. Buff a vendor. Ossification. Get rid of the leech. Buff the other vendor. Pretty good. We don't have the one to pay. Swing for 6. Hope that they missed the board wipe. Okay. Oh, they pass it back. They pass it back, guys. They have the Cavernous Maw to block. Maybe some spot removal as well. I think we're gonna go. We're gonna go for it, maybe? No, we'll keep the royal treatment open. 1 mana Swordmaster, give it haste with the village. Which isn't bad. Right? Swinging wide here is actually really, really good. We can pay one of these and still have the royal treatment open. We'll put it on Calix, I guess. Calix can buff the Swordmaster. Kind of like buffing wide here a little bit, and then we will decline this. We'll swing, see what they got. Send the Fabled Passage because we don't need that. Yeah, we're just like playing it all out because I guess you never know what they could have. They got Terra Sunder. Oh, see that. See, that is... I'm glad we completely played this out, guys. Oh no, wait, I thought they were still in this. Wait a minute, guys. Oh no, they weren't. No, wow, yeah, buffing wide was huge there for us. Hold on, hold on. Let's actually math that out real quick. Terra Sunder, right? Leech comes down. They block the biggest thing, which is Swordmaster. They gain 5 from the lifelink back up to 8, and 9 still gets through. Holy cow. No, I saw that Terra Sunder. I was like, wow, that's going to be really good for them. But just buffing wide, that was huge. And then even if we didn't have enough, I guess technically we could have went Royal Treatment, got the Royal Roll buff, as well as another buff from the Calix as well. So we had a significant chunk of damage still getting through there. So their last card also needed to be something else then too. That was great, man. That was really great, but we don't get to see caves too often. I would have loved to see more of their build overall. And maybe seen a little bit more. Like, first of all, we got a little lucky that they didn't see a second board wipe, right? So maybe their only board wipe in that build is the cave-in. Okay. See, no red source, but all of our dual lands are red. Fabled Passage, of course, is a 4 of in here. I think we try this, because I like everything else about this hand, except for the fact that we don't have all 3 mana, which I think we're just going to have to accept sometimes for this build. Ossification. Alright, Swordmaster's a 1-drop for now. Ossification might have to come down next turn, but we'll see. We might want to wait, save it for a Slick Shot show-off. Or a Challenger, that's pretty good. But we still might wait. Oh, it's Ossification number 2. Then I don't think we wait then. I think we play, we pick one of these up while we can. I guess it would be Challenger, right? 2 mana card for a 2 mana card. And I guess we save the blocker as well, because no point swinging into a Swiftspear. Rockface Village, Challenger comes down. And with the Challenger, okay. So not swinging with Swiftspear is pretty huge, because that means they might not have a monstrous rage. No blocks. We have Calix to consider for next turn, which should actually be pretty good. Okay, Heartfire Hero. Swordmaster. Swordmaster's pretty good too here, man. We're going to be in danger soon. When are we going to have to block? Is the question. Opponent went for setup last turn. Let's also go for the setup. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, get some extra mice down, see what happens. I like that. Maniful. Okay, we're in danger, bro. Double strike on the hero is no joke. Oh, or trample too if they really want to, but yeah, it's going to be that double strike. Now we have some options. We do. We could try double strike on any of the prowess cards with 1 mountain open. Man. Tough decisions, dude. If we lose 2 of our mice to 1 combat trick, all right, let's just take the damage. We're in trouble as soon as that manifold mouse hit, but honestly, we were probably in trouble before that too. It is going to be the monstrous rage, so if we attempted a double block there, we would have been in big trouble. So maybe just like blocking 1 of them, the trample damage still would have gotten through. Hold up. Would that have just been better for them to go monstrous rage on the double strike? I think so. I think so, guys. So we're going to be forced to block something next turn. Ossification should probably come down. I would have loved to be able to play the Calix. Maybe get some swings, but their deck list is just a little bit too fast. We got to take the trampling thing, I suppose. But Heartfire Hero is a better exile easily. I guess we'll take the Heartfire Hero then. But Manifold Mouse is a pretty good exile as well. Really tough decisions, man. Really tough. Actually, you know what? I'm just going for the fun swing. We're dead. Honestly, they could have just land in hand. I'm pretty sure we're gonna die because like they give double strike to the challenger. That's gonna be trampling through anyways. They still have 2 other creatures swinging here. Also seeing more off the top with the challenger too. Also, good game opponent. So could that have theoretically gone either way? No. I don't think so. I think that was going to be heavily leaning towards the opponent, even if we saw like our red source, right, with the to actually get the challenger down. Calix proving itself to be a little bit too slow for what we wanted in that game, but also it might have just been my fault for taking the turn to set up with Swordmaster and then not using any blockers anyways. That's kind of been a thing I've been struggling with recently against these super aggressive mono red lists, right? Because it's like, well, I want to get blockers down, but pretty much no matter what, the blockers are going to be obsolete because of the significant number of combat tricks that they pack in, right? And a bunch of ways to give trample and stuff. And the exile probably should have been the Manifold Mouse, but pretty much anything that we exiled off their board would have been good. Except for the Swift Spear. The Swift Spear was the weakest link on that board somehow, which is kind of crazy to think about. This is a very bad hand. Got 24 mana in here. Even though it looks like it's a low curve build, I do feel that it's very mana hungry, so all 24 mana. We should mulligan for sure. All right, opponent goes first. That should be scary, but 2 Ossification might help us out significantly here. Keep the 6. Oh, Calix, buddy. Do I have to send you? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe we go Forest. No, Fabled Passage. We don't need the red source for this hand. Very much Selesnya list. Just splashing red for very powerful red mice. Oh no. Oh no, guys. All right, let's get our 1-drop down. We're not going to save that for 3 by any means, especially since we had to get rid of one of the mana too. Sending the mana makes the most sense to me as well. And sending the mana that helps us mana fix, I mean, maybe that's not the greatest thing, but... Alright, Might of the Meek. And they still have a mountain open. Is there going to be more? Yeah, these exile effects on Heartfire Hero is going to be pretty darn good, man. Okay, they decided to just keep the mountain open. Play a second Heartfire Hero, actually. Royal treatment. Well, Ossification. Number 1. Let's get you down. Take the 2/2 Heartfire Hero. We could swing with the Swordmaster since we don't plan on blocking. Like I said in the last game, I've been really struggling on when to decide when to keep blockers and stuff. I guess like keeping a blocker would make more sense if they had less cards in hand. But with 4 cards in hand, what are the odds of them giving trample to the hero anyways? I'd say pretty good, right? Or keeping blockers when you know you're going to be forced to block when your life total's low enough. That's another reason to keep it. All right, we got that Fabled Passage back. Not bad at all. We do have a decision with the Ossification. Fabled Passage is tapped for now. Royal Treatment could help us do a little bit of our own combat trick, maybe. Yeah, it's going to be Ossification for the turn, right? We got to clean up this board. It is probably Emberheart Challenger. That helps them see more off the top. Like, yeah, the hero's a threat, but it's probably Challenger. Yeah, I hope I'm making all right decisions right now. Yeah, hopefully. All right. 2 combat, and are we gonna block next turn? No, and as a matter of fact, I probably should have done the Ossification in main phase 2. So Fabled Passage, we have a decision, right? We could grab a white source because then any mana we see off the top that's untapped will be able to play the Archon, right? Like if we saw a forest or something. Or we could grab a red source just to mana fix. That way if we see any of our red cards off the top. If we grab... I guess the mana's looking pretty sticky right now. See what they do with this Heartfire Hero for the turn. Look, it's just going to be one. Wow, going to set up with some creatures? No, actually. I don't know what to grab with this Fabled Passage, man. I really don't. I maybe a white source, because then any untapped source off the top will get us closer to the Archon, which could be really good. Most of the deck is leaning white as well. I hope that's okay. Oh, it was a red card off the top, guys. All right, let's get the Calix down. Calix can grow the Swordmaster to a point where... Oh, no. Burn. Well, let's see what they end up doing. I think they'd burn the Calix over the Swordmaster anyways. Yeah, they shock the Calix away, easy peasy. They still got 2 open. Could easily get rid of the Swordmaster. Okay, we're at 13. Alright, let's swing. So what did we learn from last turn? I guess mana fixing is more important than worrying about a card that's in hand. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Mana fixing is more important than... I don't know what I'm looking for there. Because I guess it really depends, right? Because I guess we could have... It depends what side we wanted to mana fix for. Ooh, Copperline Gorge. That's pretty good. Royal Treatment will be open. I guess we go for the swing. I mean, we're pretty much always in danger against mono red, right? We'll go for the swing. We could go for excess damage with the Royal Treatment, but I think we just want to... I think we just want to keep protection for the Swordmaster. I think they would just want to go Lightning Strike face anyways, though, so... It is going to be Lightning Strike face anyways, so maybe we should have just went for the excess damage. Oh, no. Oh, no, guys. We could easily die here. Wow. 5th mana from mono red over there. Maybe I just, like... Maybe I just, like, play Royal Treatment. That way when we play the Archon... Inferno. Wow. Dude, we're in so much trouble right now. Pretty much anything they top deck can help them get there. Yeah, we're just going to go Royal Treatment. We should have just gone for the excess damage last turn as well. Would have been 2 extra. Another Heartfire Hero. Let's get that Archon down. Look at this. That's pretty sick, man. That's pretty sick. Oh, except for the fact that we needed a chump blocker for their Heartfire Hero. Crap, because now their Heartfire Hero gets them there no matter what. Crap, guys, what am I doing, man? Really, really tough. Maybe I'm being too hard on myself because it's one of those things where... Was there gonna be a great way through? No is the answer. It was a shock off the top. So even if we got the chump blocker down with the Heartfire Hero... Oh, there's so much to talk about with this one, man. Hold up. So number one, if I would have mana fixed instead of grabbing planes, if we would have just grabbed a red source, we could have at least got the Heartfire Hero down. Then we ended up seeing the second Heartfire Hero too. Our early land being red was not great there because once we finally did find the red source, it's coming down tapped too, which also means that we didn't get the Archon out on time as well. Dude, there was so much going on there, and most of it came down to the mana base, right? I think so. The Twinferno was particularly scary. It literally, any other buff on that mouse before the Twinferno, we would have been dead that turn anyways, which is crazy to think about. It was a shock off the top with them seeing 5 mana too. Like pretty much anything they saw off the top could have helped them squeeze that last little points of damage through. So at least we didn't get punished for not getting the chump blocker down. And even if it was the chump blocker, it would have been a pretty weak turn. It would have literally just been the Heartfire Hero for the turn. It would have been pretty bad. Okay. Right, so Fabled Passage, grab Plains for sure here. This is keepable. This is totally keepable, right? We go for the turn 1. Right? No, we start with deck thinning. No, we don't. No, we don't. I'm sorry, guys. I'm like really struggling to play this build right now for some reason. I don't know why. A lot of it might be coming down to the mana, so in the final thoughts, we might have to talk more about that. I think Swordmaster, right? Swordmaster. Yeah. Okay, Banishing Light. Yeah, so reasoning to go Copperline Gorge, Heartfire Hero first instead of like Fabled Passage mana fix right away. Like we could have grabbed Plains and then turn 2 Copperline Gorge for Challenger. But we had a good chance of seeing mana off the top with 24 in here, where if we went Fabled Passage turn 1, we're immediately dropping our chances of seeing more mana, which we want to see right now with this hand, right? So that was the thought process there, I think. Or that was the thought process, and I think that was an okay thought process. Copperline Gorge, that's pretty good. Calix can come down, but spot removal is very likely here from mono black. That doesn't mean we don't try it though, right? It's better than the Challenger and then nothing else for the turn. We go Challenger, they spot remove anyways. A Calix comes down, we target the hero, they spot remove the Calix. So at least the hero will stick around here. Or maybe they don't. I don't know which one they want to hit. Probably the Calix, right? Because 2 mana card for a 3 mana card versus 1 mana card. So Bitter Triumph, they go for the discard. It's actually going to be Aclizotes. It's either because, we'll get that swing with the hero. It's either because they have Aclizotes number 2 in hand, or they're just so far away from it mana-wise that it's just not going to happen this game, is maybe what they're thinking. Hopeless Nightmare. I don't want to lose either of these, but it's probably Banishing Light because I can't think of a non-land permanent that we desperately need to hit in mono black discard versus like creatures that we want to remove with Ossification. Or planeswalkers too, like Liliana. So Banishing Light because it's more expensive. Ossification number 2, let's get that Challenger down. And for 5. We might be okay here. We might be. Right now the mana base is feeling very bad though. Oh, we're going Audacity onto Challenger, right? More damage on Hero would be cool. It already has a huge target on its back, though. Audacity onto Challenger lets us see more off the top, and that's pretty huge. Heartfire Hero, all right. That's pretty good, man. Swing for 8. Wait a minute. Oh, no. Oh, no, guys. The opponent missed their 3rd mana. How many turns in a row was that? No, that's not how I like to win. GG though, opponent. I'll take the victory, man. They are hard to come by. I'll tell you what. They missed their 3rd. That really sucks. I would have loved like a full-blown competition there. I think it was going to start looking really good for us regardless. Seeing that Heartfire Hero off the top for the Challenger. Can't believe they missed their 2nd piece of spot removal too. But with these double ossifications, man, I was ready. I was ready. Full-blown battle. Yeah, if they didn't miss their 3rd, then like Liliana coming down or something, the sacrifice probably would have been the hero since we were still going to be slipping that damage through. 2nd hero off the Challenger was great. So yeah, that time we just got to see the mice do a pretty significant thing. It's too bad we can't like keep the Calix on the board. But we'll try because we are only 29 minutes in. We have time for 1 or 2 more games easily. While I have you here in the middle of the video, guys, make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. Then also, if you like the video, make sure you drop it a like. And if you like the channel, consider subscribing as well. It really does help out the channel. So thank you, thank you. All right, with all that YouTube nonsense out of the way, let's see if the mana can stop acting up, huh? Right. Jeez, man. I don't know. Opponent goes first. We should mulligan. We totally should. Okay, we'll mulligan. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, we'll send the mountain. We should have no trouble finding a third with 24 total mana in here. We're going to keep 6, send the mountain. Okay. Now we're talking, right? I say we have dual land in here. Dual land, of course, helping us splash that red. It really just hasn't shown that that is the correct path for the list, but it might be one of those things too where just more testing is required. Cacophony Scamp. Okay. Demonic Ruckus doesn't give haste, but you know what does? Felonious Rage. They don't have it. It's going to be Mountain Open probably for a shock then, right? More mana isn't terrible. Getting Vendor down is probably the play. We could try to swing. They probably call our bluff, and then that's a really bad swing. So we're just going to go Vendor. I think more often than not, when we don't have the combat trick, the opponents call our bluff, and then we lose a creature. So we're just going to play it safe, especially since we're up against a lot of brutal mono red. Playing it safe sometimes works. Manifold Mouse, okay, luckily does not boost the Scamp. It has to hit a mouse. That's good news for us, man. But they got the mouse established, which is decent. I doubt they go for the sacrifice here. We're just gonna take the 2. I'd be shocked if they sacrifice the Scamp to pop the Vendor or something. I think they keep it around for now. Like, they could pop it, pop the Vendor, draw on the Ruckus. I just feel like that's a lot of extra steps to get rid of the Vendor over like a shock or something, right? Because now the Scamp's gone, and that means no combat tricks for the future on it too. Like a Monstrous Rage or something. Ossification. I don't have a basic on the board, guys. No, not like this. Okay. Stick to the plan. Let's get that Calix down. Okay. Okay, we'll see a basic. We're fine. We're totally fine, bro. Go for the swing. Sure, the Manifold Mouse could be dangerous in no time, but wow, they go for the block, which means Monstrous Rage. That's a trade that I am not mad about, guys. I'm not mad about that trade at all. Until we find a basic land, though, we might be in trouble. Oh, wow. Restocking this board beautifully. Okay. Flowerfoot Swordmaster. All right. A couple turns of generating extra mice is not terrible. But we really, really need that basic. We maybe could have swung there. Maybe. Yeah, really great trades for us this game, guys. Now, the big question is, are we going to be able to sustain ourselves longer than mono red over there? I'm not convinced right now, but we'll see. Heartfire Hero. Trample or Double Strike, I wonder. Double Strike. So a way to give Trample in hand would be pretty bad, but it might not be there. We should try the chump. Nice. That's good for us. A 1/1, and we don't take 8 damage for the turn. They go ahead, plot up a Slick Shot Show Off. Basic land, let's go! It's kind of not the basic we wanted to see because we won't be able to play the Swordmaster 2, but it don't matter. We saw one. Which is huge. Now, we have a really tough decision. Do we take the Manifold Mouse, which is kind of ridiculous right now, or do we take the Heartfire Hero? And I think this time it does actually make more sense to take the Hero. We took the Hero earlier, and it might not have been the best thing to do. Oh, Ossification. We should take the Hero. We should. Even if we take the mouse, they can still buff the hero with the village, which is just, it's a lot. If it's not on the board and it dies to a block or something. Yeah. Yeah, we should do that. Buff the Swordmaster. And we'll swing with the Swordmaster too. Do I think we can outpace them? Oh, actually, I'm gonna full swing. I don't plan on blocking with Calix or anything. We should just go for it, man. Because if we're in danger anyways, we got Calix through. They didn't block, so we get to copy the Ossification, and we will buff the Calix then, because getting it above a shock range is pretty huge. Guys, we might be okay here. Oh, also, even if they forced a block, mouse would have died anyways. So it was either it got picked up by the Ossification. Oh, so yeah, full swinging was very, very crucial. Holy cow, dude. Free show off in the third Manifold Mouse. We're in danger, bro? Audacity off the top is so good, though. Wow. That's really good. How do we want to do this? If they go for a bunch of blocks onto Calix, we'll have Calix number 2 for the turn. So we just go like Audacity, right? Onto the Swordmaster. Buff the Swordmaster. We still go for that full swing? Or do we just swing with... No, it's still a full swing, yeah. Yeah, so now we do get to copy the well, not the Audacity. We want to copy the Ossification, so we definitely take that action. GG opponent. Which one were we going to take from the opponent there? Slickshot Show Off or the mouse? Because they had 2 other mice on the board. So a few things for that game, right? A few things. We had just terrific trades that the opponent accepted. That I feel like were very beneficial in our favor. Sacrificing the Scamp early on, for example, stuff like that. Trading into the Manifold Mouse and the Monstrous Rage was really good for us too. The things started leaning our way though, especially after we got the basics, so we could actually start going for that Ossification stuff. So again, 11 basics packed in, 4 Fabled Passage to help us find those basics. I'll tell you what, right now, it really, like at 24 mana, first of all, one more game, let's do this. At 24 mana, feels, I don't want to say low because we don't want to go 25 or 26. I don't want to necessarily blame it on luck either because we might have to rearrange the mana base a little bit, but it's definitely like a more testing required thing for this mana base right now, right? This looks great. We go first too? Wow. All right, keep 7. Yeah. All right. Best hand of the evening. Even though we're missing some key pieces like the Calix and stuff. This is like we're actually like curving out nicely. We go first. We have all 3 mana sources. Like, and if you're looking at like all 3 mana sources and you're looking at how we set up the mana base too, right? Majority plains followed by forests and then just splashing the red, especially with the dual land. Like this is what you'd expect to see in an opening hand when we have a mana base built like that, right? So, I don't know. It's tough. Sometimes like 3-color mana bases are really, really difficult to figure out. Opponent, I promise it's not Boros Mice, but it kinda sorta is, but like I promise, okay? Just plus it's just a little Swordmaster. Okay, there's a Swamp. Ruthless Negotiation. I don't want to lose any of these, you monster opponent. I'm afraid to get rid of a land, I really am, even though like that's what we probably should do. Oh crap. That's what we should do, huh? Get rid of the plains, the deck list majority plains, right? Oh crap. Okay, at least we saw more mana though, but seeing the gorge meant sending the forest would have been a little better. We didn't know if we were going to see more green though, which is pretty important here. Okay. We can get the vendor down for the turn. Probably should have waited for main phase 2 since it didn't affect combat, but that's okay because the opponent was tapped out. Vendor is out of here. Virtue of Persistence, actually. Inspiring Vantage, okay. Probably Swordmaster over Audacity. Because Audacity can buff our wide board state of mice next turn. We'll swing. Opponent's back down to 20. We haven't done too much, man. Offspring. If they have us discard, we want to discard the forest, so hopefully it's not the card that makes us discard non-land, right? Because we really want this Audacity. We got to start pushing excess damage through. Third Swamp. Phyrexian Arena. Nice. More mana. Alright, Audacity. On to the... I don't know. I guess, like, the 1/1 is fine. I guess so. It's a good chunk of damage. We don't want them to play a card that has us discard 2 cards and lose our basic. We should play our basic. When we think we're up against discard, we have to be very specific about what we can rely on in our hand. Calix is pretty good, but you know what's better? Sheoldred for the opponent. Audacity, the mouse with Audacity isn't getting through. However, if we buff it... Oh, okay, okay. Okay. If we buff any of these, it should be one of these guys, right? No, only one buff for all of them. Whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, mice you control. It doesn't say other mice. So it would be this guy to get him up to 5. So when he does block with the Sheoldred, at least the Sheoldred dies, right? We go for that full swing because if they block a 2/2, 7 gets through and we copy the Audacity off the Calix. They let it all through, guys. Holy cow. Copy Audacity onto one of the Swordmasters, I guess, right? Why is it letting us submit more than one? That's weird. I guess it wasn't letting us do that, but yeah, we want to buff wide here for sure. We should play this actually. Okay, opponent's back up to 5 because Sheoldred and Phyrexian Arena is pretty darn good. Buffing wide was excellent for us. Calix off the top was huge. Just like anything other than mana should be great. Nice, guys. That's what I'm talking about. See, nice clean victory. The opponent didn't miss mana or anything. We were actually up against Sheoldred too. All right, good stuff, man. Not bad. The mana base felt good as well. Boy, I'll tell you what, though, only one basic on the board again. Ossification being our main piece of spot removal. It's that Ossification paranoia that I keep bringing up. I just, like, should we always see that basic? Probably. But every now and then. All right, guys, this one threw me for a loop a little bit. There were a lot of games where I was just like, man, I must not be playing it out correctly. But I don't know. I really don't. Definitely let me know in the comments. There were probably some optimized plays for sure. Overall, I guess it did perform relatively okay, especially in those last few games, right? So, mana fixing on the Fable. Number 1. At some point, I'm going to stop bringing this up, by the way. So always keep an eye out on these rare reprints, guys. I only have the older versions of Fabled Passage. When I put this up in the description and over on Aether Hub as well, I'll do my best to remember to switch it to the newest version. I might forget. You never know. So always keep an eye out on that. And then I think once the next set releases, I'm going to stop bringing that up because I've been bringing it up for the entirety of Bloomburrow. It's just something I want to bring up, right? Always keep an eye out for these rare reprints because I definitely did not want to craft the newest version, right? And you guys probably definitely don't want to craft the oldest version, so or the older versions. I guess I don't know how long Fabled Passage has actually been around. Guys, all right, all 4 Calix worth it, right? Totally. Even though it's legendary, I like it. Sometimes it sat in our hand. That's just going to happen though. Like pretty much any deck you play is going to be sweating against mono red on turn 3. And when you're sweating on turn 3 against mono red, is it like, it's kind of like, well, I could play the Calix, but then I die next turn. And then, like I said, any build you got, any 3-drop you got, it's like, well, I could play my 3-drop, but since it's not a temporary lockdown, I guess I'm dead next turn. And so it's really tough to like be hard on these cards when that's the standard we're in right now. Outside of that, Calix performed, man, and that bottom ability performed, dude, and it performs extra well when you have the ossifications on the board already. Let's take a look here. Let's take a gander. Rockface Village could probably be a mountain, right? We're sure we're splashing red and all, but it's just another land in here that isn't a basic for the ossification. I'm not going to change it, though. I'm going to keep the village because it did come in handy in one of those games. And while we were playing, I kept bringing this up. I think that the mana base is going to be a more testing required mana base. I can't tell, man. I really can't. I can't tell if we got a little bit unlucky in some of those with how the mana base performed, or if overall, I can't tell. Because in the last few too, I think the mana base really showcased itself quite nicely overall. So if we take a look here, let's break it down a little bit, right? We got 56% white sources, 33% green sources, and 22% red sources. What we're splashing red in here for is very powerful Valiant creatures, as well as the Rockface Village to help us boost up those Valiant creatures. When we're looking at Swordmaster and that Valiant ability boosting the mice, it, of course, as we saw in that last game, boosts itself as well as the mice that it generated with itself too. So the offspring really coming in handy today was awesome. Outside of that, no other mice packed in, like Spellbook Vendor is in fact not a mouse. So when we have these other powerful mice though, it totally works out, right? Just having the 12 mice, but then also Swordmaster ending up working with itself anyways. Cards like Audacity and stuff will always work really well with Heartfire Hero, but what we saw today was it actually worked really well with Challenger, helping us see more off the top, which happened to be another Heartfire Hero too. It's actually really sick. When you do have these, man, there's so much to go over. I'm trying not to get lost here. So we saw Heartfire Hero after Heartfire Hero for some reason in a lot of those games, right? They popped up in duplicates. So when you're looking at the mana base like this, and you want to like curve out properly into Calix and stuff, what you're thinking is like, well, you need to lean heavier into the plains and the forests if you want to curve properly into Calix, and you're curving past the turn 2 removal on Ossification, because as we all know, turn 2 removal is very important against all those mono red lists and everything too, right? So, however, when you're doing all that, how do you properly integrate the red sources into the build as well? And that is where the only going the dual lands with red came into play here as the concept for the mana base, right? And of course, you'd think Fabled Passage would really help you mana fix properly. With 24 mana, more often than not, I think you're going to get to the 4th mana. And so when you start seeing Fabled Passage off the top after the fact, it just happens to be a really, really good land. But early on, it's really slow too. So you have a lot of really tough decisions, dude. Yeah. I also brought this up in one of the matches too. Don't be fooled by this low curve. Look at this, average 1.8. Don't be fooled by that, man. This deck is very mana hungry. Did we have a single game where we were able to have 1 mana open for the Spellbook Vendor's sorcery? Or for the sorcerer role? No, I don't think so. And I guess Vendor didn't pop up too much anyways. And when we did see Vendor, it got removed quite early too, right? So, man, you know what? Put this on the do not craft list. I'm so split on it right now. Like overall, I guess it performed all right. But I'd say put it on the do not craft list just to be safe, right? Especially when we don't know where Calix is going to fit. Like after rotation, losing a lot of the incredible Selesnya enchantment cards, right? We don't know where this is going to fit yet. It's a mythic. But maybe you used to play Selesnya enchantments. You already had the Calix anyways. Would that still be like the case for put it on the do not craft list? Potentially, because Spellbook Vendor's rare, and it didn't really feel great here. But also, if I drop these, I think we're losing something in the build. If we drop the Spellbook Vendor, go up something like, I don't know, man, Demonic Ruckus, then all of a sudden we're not just splashing red anymore. We're actually starting to have a split between the green and red, which is going to completely mess with the mana base that I've been thinking so hard about already. And again, with all that thinking, I'm still thinking that it should be okay. I have no idea, man. So yeah, really tough one, huh? Maybe it's a lot better. Maybe I'm just being like way too hard on the list. And maybe I just performed a little bit under par today too. Archon on the top end, is this even worth it too? Here's another rare in here that we could just consider going up something else and probably being pretty satisfied with what we go up, whether it's like a couple more Banishing Lights or something too. I brought up those Demonic Ruckuses. Again, if you end up dropping anything, keep a watchful eye on this mana base, dude, because I don't know what's going to cause this mana base to spiral out of control. So you just never know, man. Yeah, Archon, Spellbook Vendor, these cards are potentially on the chopping block, and maybe we have to revisit this deck list in the future. I do know that the next set is bringing some fun enchantments, but maybe in different color combinations, however. So, all right, neat, I guess, right? That's what we'll end on. 51 minutes into the video. If you guys made it this far in, for real, y'all are champions. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for being here. Enough rambling. Definitely let me know what you thought of the deck list down in the comments. Let me know if my confusion is warranted. And I will see you in the next video.